The following is a RackRadioShow.com exclusive.
And welcome back to The Rack right here on WildTalkRadio.com, brought to you by our friends over at Wrestling Figure Photography. Follow the journey at Instagram.com/MBG1211. And if you're listening to us over at Gerwig.net, RackRadioShow.com, and WildTalkRadio.com, thank you so much for sticking with us. And if you're just joining us, you're just in time. I'm super excited because joining us right now is one of the women who has led the way for transforming women's wrestling for the TNA Knockouts, soon to be TNA Hall of Famer Gail Kim. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
We are super excited to talk to you. This is like the highlight of my day. You don't even know.
I'm so flattered. Thank you.
So I have to know, what was your initial reaction when you were told that you were going to be in the TNA Hall of Fame?
I think it was, well, they didn't tell me. You guys all saw it with me on TV. They kind of tried to make it a surprise. Yeah. So it was actually kind of funny that day because they were trying to hide it and keep it secret, and they were kind of making it obvious, but you just never know which way it's going to go. So it's funny because I told the office after, because they were like, did you know? And I said, well, the signs were there because everyone from the office completely just ignored me all day. So I said it was kind of obvious, but like I said, you never know. So at that moment when it was announced, no matter what, I'm normally kind of a calm and collected person emotionally, I think, and emotion overcame me, and I pretty much cried, which I never do, and it's just very, humbling, and I'm just so grateful for that moment. It was surreal.
Because it's got to be really cool to be the first knockout inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you don't think about those things at the moment, but, when people say it to you, it's almost like when I won the title the first time in both companies. I mean, it's almost like it just happens so fast. You don't have time to absorb it at that moment. And so you think about it, and it's just, it's mind-blowing how far I've come in this business that I'm really happy at what I've accomplished in this business. If I had to walk away tomorrow, I'd be completely happy.
That's awesome. And you mentioned the title in both in TNA and WWE. You were the first knockout champion for TNA. You innovated it. You kind of sort of helped create the division. What's that meant for you?
Oh, wow. I mean, that probably was the most meaningful series of events, I guess you could say, because it's something like you fight for so long for something, and for it to come to fruition and to successfully, happen. It took a while for it to actually happen, but once the division happened, the division was such a success, almost it seemed virtually overnight. You couldn't have asked for anything more. It's like all your hard work and begging, pretty much, and fighting pay off, and it's just, you can't have a more satisfying feeling.
Yeah, I have to tell you that I was there when you won the title. That first
Oh
time.
My gosh! In Atlanta? Wow.
Yeah, I was there in Atlanta, so it was really cool to see you do that, and to see the division really be born, because it's been such a strong, amazing division, and I feel like it's helped to sort of push this women's revolution that really kind of almost started in TNA and has sort of flooded its way through the business over the last few years.
Yeah. It took some time, but, because we are probably looked at as a smaller company, people might overlook that, but TNA has always been, like I said, it took a little bit of pushing and begging, and for them it wasn't really about not wanting to do it. It was just more about the time issue, and because when I started with the company, I believe that it was an hour show when I signed on, and they just said, we need to make time for it. There needs to be time for it, and then we got to find the talent, and it's not going to happen right away. And, everybody wants everything now at the moment, but to be part of that, I remember that first day, being the girls that were there, the Tracy Brooks and Christy Hemme was wrestling at that time, and the early Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, all of us. I remember being so emotional, and to look back, it's like a blur now. Time just went by so fast. But I'm really proud of everything we've accomplished. It really has, right? Since like yesterday.
So, and you mentioned, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, and we've seen them come in and make their mark, and we've seen the likes of Jade and Marty Bell and Sienna come in too. Yeah. As the veteran of the women's roster, what do you think that your role is now?
Now I feel like my role is, I guess I am more of a leader of the locker room. That comes with age and experience, right? But I'm really lucky to have always worked with girls who really trusted me and valued my opinion. And normally people think when you get a whole bunch of girls together that it's going to become a catty, competitive, locker room. But the entire time, obviously it's kind of almost like high school, any work is, where you kind of have the friends you hang out with, and there might be ups and downs, but overall, I just found that the Knockouts locker room throughout all the years have just generally come together, though, because in the end, we really wanted to produce the best product, and that comes with supporting the other girls. And when you're in that ring, you need to be able to trust your opponent, and, it's kind of like a dance, and you're putting your life in the hands of this other person. So at the end of the day, no matter what, we always, respect each other and bring the best out of each other as well.
I feel like that's such a misnomer that women are just catty. Like, we're all just out to get each other. I hate that.
And I think it really honestly starts with how you want this locker. I've always, if I am in a leadership veteran role, and Madison Rain is still there at the same time as me right now, we're probably the only ones left over from that era, and we pretty much set that example of we want the girls to do well, we support each other, we want to do the best job that we can do. And I think that when the new girls come in and they see that we act this way, and they see that it's not a cutthroat, catty environment, they feel at ease. And so you learn to trust each other. Like I said, it's like we're sisters, honestly.
Yeah, you all work together towards that common goal rather than trying to fight each other to get to it first. And that's just awesome. So, and
another thing is that we're pretty much, people that know me in the business know that I'm pretty direct. My husband as well has brought up my directness, because he's like that too, so I've gotten probably worse. But I think in the end, for myself, I know if someone didn't like something that I did or, didn't agree with me, I would rather have someone just tell me straight up. And, I respect that a whole lot more. And that's the way I conduct myself in the locker room. So
absolutely. And, you mentioned everybody coming in. Another person that came in is Maria Kanellis.
Yeah.
You have a long, long history with her. And
it's been going on for a while.
Not to make you feel bad. It's an awesome long history, just so you're aware.
I was going to say, it's been a long time, but throughout the years, the fans that when there's a storyline going on and it takes this long, although she hurt her hand at Slammiversary, so that's why it never really happened, but throughout the years with Awesome Kong, with Taryn Terrell, and now Maria, I find that the fans are just more emotionally invested when they take the time, to invest in one story over the course of time, because people are just now at the point where they just want to forget about the title, they just want me to kick her butt,
Yeah.
They want to see her take a beat down right now so bad, so it's actually pretty amusing.
Well, it's that whole instant gratification thing. Everybody just wants everything like now, and they don't want to wait for it. They don't want to savor it. So when you give them that opportunity to, it's something really special.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't plan on disappointing the fans that night.
So, are you aiming to capture your 6th Knockouts championship?
Of course, always. The Knockouts championship is always an important, factor. I think it's just double the pleasure now that I can finally get my hands on her and go for the title at the same time. It honestly would, I guess, be icing on the cake with the whole Hall of Fame and everything. So we'll see what happens. We'll see.
It's gonna be a big night.
It's gonna be a big night, and she plays a little dirty, so I never know what to expect from her.
Yeah, gotta watch out for that one.
Yeah.
So, after your big night at Bound for Glory, you've won your title, you're in the Hall of Fame. What's next for you, do you think?
In terms of accomplishments and things like that, I feel like I've pretty much accomplished what I mean, the only other thing I can think of is going for another title that's not even in the women's realm, but the next thing for me, I would think, is I really just want to help the girls, to be honest, and because it's such a whole new generation of girls that came in all at the same time. The Jade, the Siennas, the Allie, Marty Bell, all of them, they all came through the independents together. So it's interesting to see their sisterhood. It reminds me of, when I came first in the company, it was Tracy, myself, and Christy, and it reminds me of the same thing. So I want to help rebuild this division and help them succeed as much as we did.
That's an amazing, and I'd personally like to start the campaign for Gail Kim for Impact Grand Championship.
Yeah, right? Yeah, the only thing I was thinking was like, okay, what can I go for, the X Division Championship or whatever it is, but those guys are pretty talented. I don't know if I could keep up.
Oh, I think you could.
I tried.
So I'm kind of curious. I want to sort of transition away from Bound for Glory and the Hall of Fame and get your thoughts, because one thing that's drawn a lot of interest is Broken Matt Hardy. And
right.
the final deletion and
yeah.
Now Delete or Decay. So what are kind of your thoughts on that? Have you seen it? Have you?
Yes, definitely. We've all seen it, and we always look forward to seeing the next thing. And just in terms of Matt's character, they've been wrestling since they were teenagers, the Hardys. So you would never even expect to see them reinvent themselves. It's like a never-ending reinvention, and they live and breathe wrestling, and it's clear, when they're out there and performing. And when I first saw Broken Matt Hardy, I thought to myself, I said to Jeremy Borash, I said, why is he talking like that? I said, is he trying to make an accent and it's coming out really bad? And then you kind of, it grows on you, and it's just funny as hell, to be honest, for me. And I just think this is great for Matt Hardy. I think this is probably one of the times that I've seen him outshine his brother, which is, they're both great, but right now is Matt Hardy's time. I feel like it's tremendous. And in terms of Decay, I never would have even thought, Crazy Steve transforming to this Steve, and Rosemary, who's also a Canadian wrestler. I knew she was good, but wow, they have blown me away with their talent and the chemistry between the three of them. I think you're looking at the future right there between Rosemary and Steve, and Abyss is already obviously established. So.
Of course. But yeah. I would have to agree with you on that. I mean, I feel like Matt Hardy's found himself with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Really odd.
Yeah, and even the production, and I know there's a lot of people that were behind it, and Jeremy Borash is one of my good friends, so I saw all the works that went into the production, and it's amazing. I think that he's done his best work yet, and it makes the company look great too, and I'm very impressed overall.
Yeah, I would.
And and being in the business for, I've been wrestling for 16 years. It's kind of like when you watch wrestling for that long, it's hard. You feel jaded at times, and it's hard to impress and be really entertained. And the whole team, they've done a great job. I'm always looking forward to what's next.
Absolutely. And well, speaking of what's next, I have to ask this question because I know you're married to Robert Irvine.
Yes.
Who is an absolutely amazing chef.
Yeah.
I've seen the stuff he's done on TV, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
And I have to know, what's your favorite thing that he cooks for you?
Oh, I get this question a lot. I will say, and I'm not just saying this, it's everything pretty much he cooks is good. And the thing is, it's great because I I was always a good cook, but I didn't know how to really be inventive and, fun with my cooking, and I'm a very healthy eater. So when he actually does cook for me, which isn't very often because we're never home, but when he does, he makes the yummiest, healthiest meals that I would never even think of making this sauce from the things he puts in there. I mean, he literally just will, it's almost like dinner impossible. He'll just find what's in the fridge or freezer and put it all together, and it tastes delicious. So I'm very lucky.
That sounds very lucky. That sounds amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Can you teach me to do that?
But I will say, I do struggle at times to stay trim because it's like this constant, a number of events he's always doing. So it's a lot of eating and at times a lot of wine drinking, and it catches up. You got to stay clean for a while after that.
I can understand. I can definitely understand.
Yeah.
So I've got one more question for you, and we ask this to everybody, but
okay.
I always have to know, because you guys are so busy. You're traveling and you're working and you're going everywhere. When you have a rare day off where you don't have anything to do, what do you like to do?
Oh, my husband and I, it would sound so boring, but my husband and I are big movie people because we, like you said, we don't get a lot of time off. So if we actually do have a time to do nothing, we literally like to do nothing. So we'll watch 2 movies in a day if there's good movies out, but we try to, and luckily I'm very lucky because my husband and I like the same movies, and normally that doesn't happen, but he likes chick flicks and action movies, and so do I.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. We both hate horror movies, so I'm like, yes.
Now, if we could only get like a chick flick action movie, that would just be like perfect.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one out there.
It's got to be out there.
Yeah.
So, Gail, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very appreciative for your time. So everybody, please check out Gail Kim and the rest of the stars of Impact Wrestling Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on Pop TV, and check out TNA Bound for Glory Sunday, October 2nd.